Well, this needs no introduction. It's Crystal Pekarek of Crystal's Cubicle here on Marketing Minds Meet. Normally, I would say, well, it's just a March edition, but typically, sometimes these episodes will air a little later or earlier than usual. So I'm trying to stay out of that. So this is just another episode of Marketing Minds Meet, and I believe this will be episode 10. So welcome. Is this the first time we've done this in 2022?
Yeah, I know. It's been a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
those holidays got in the way, and then those New
Right.
Year's goals, and then all of a sudden it was March.
Right. And now we're in March.
That's March. Here we are.
So to recap, how was your 2021?
I don't remember anymore.
All right, let's zone it in a little bit. Let's make it a little bit more narrow.
It was good. It was good.
Okay.
It was fine. The holidays went by in a flash. It was very overwhelming. And January was kind of like the reset period.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, there was a lot, there was a lot. So January was like the reset. February was all right. We got our act together. Let's do it.
And I remember talking with you, and this is why I things happen for a reason. I feel like we're pretty much in sync for most of the time. You had made a revelation regarding the direction that you wanted to go with Crystal's Cubicle. Can you kind of explain that? Rehash that memory for me, please, and let the viewers and audience know what that was.
Yeah, I probably cut you off as you were about to tell me the same thing when we were on the phone. How's 2022 going? Great, I got news. Me too. Guess what? I'm not doing social media anymore for daily posting. And you went, really? I'm not doing social media anymore for daily posting. And I was like, look at us both go. Different reasons though, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was to focus more on the web design, but also because my other gig, I already do social media, which people may or may not know. I do it for OSnap Social. OSnap Social is pretty freaking successful. Their amazing fearless leader, Carlin, who I mentioned, got me all, come on.
Shout out to you, Carlin.
When the badass lady you're working for gets you a case of these for your birthday, it's good business. So yeah, I've been focusing my efforts there because it felt like too much of a divide, having the two separate social medias, if that makes sense. It was just my focus was too split. So all that focus is going to stay in that camp for OSnap Social. So if you need social media, there's still a great place to go. There's lots of them, but just ain't me anymore. And that allowed me also to focus much more on the web design aspect and to really narrow down and promote that on the social media channels, on the actual website, all that good stuff.
And it's interesting because you mentioned, going back, trying to get away from the daily posting. What was it about and for anybody, first off, let me just say for the record, if that's what you do for in the marketing field, if that is your specialty, props to you. Okay. I that's how CP and I both here. Well, here she's virtually here, but I'm going to point to my right, to the left, to the viewers, but that's how we both started. And I think I find that some of the marketing, the independent entrepreneurs, solopreneur marketers that I meet, they typically start out that way doing, I could be very wrong, but at least this is just from my own professional experience and networking experiences. A lot of them seem to start out down the social media daily posting realm, which it is necessary. It does need to be there. But I think once you've done it for a while, I know, and I can speak on my behalf for myself. And I think CP, I think you've maybe realized that it's a lot, isn't it? Like, it takes up so much time, right?
Well, so I think the people who start out doing that, number one, you might be good at doing your own, maybe you just like it, but you realize there's a lot more to it than just posting, right? Which I knew from the start, and I was trying to really hone that skill. But the part I like about it is the part I still do. At OSnap Social, I am a content producer. That means I get to sit there and create things all day long. custom graphics, written copy, all sorts of things. And those go out on daily posts for these clients, right? The part I didn't like is the part I no longer do, because there's a team over there and there are these lovely little number crunchers who love their numbers and they love to get into analytics. And that was the part I hated. Did I do it? Yes. Did I like it? No, but it was necessary. It's necessary to see where your numbers are going, where your engagement was going, what posts were getting the engagement, what was popular, what was working for each client. That's a lot to go through client after client. So now we've got people who like doing that stuff. They like it. They love it. They've got a more analytical brain and that stuff makes them happy. That was killing my soul slowly every day. Going through these, my soul was dying a little every day going through these numbers because I don't like that side of it. So it just made more sense for me not to keep doing that.
And you know, it's interesting because going to the analytics portion, I know with WA Hooper Marketing, we refined our social media services. So we didn't completely cut it off. We made it known that, hey, we're not doing the daily everyday postings anymore. I know for us, it was more about over here at the WA Hooper Marketing company was it for all the postings that we had to schedule. And there's a lot. And with all the clients that we have, sometimes that would supersede some of the bigger tasks at hand, and in particular with video editing. You know, we've been getting a lot more video spike, which is great. And I'm happy about it. And I love doing that. But at a certain point, it became just like, oh crap, now I forgot to post this, or I got to schedule these now. But then there's this edit that I'm like fresh in the middle of, and I'm like right in the workflow. And it just wasn't healthy. And it wasn't doing, it was actually doing a disservice to some clients. So having that conversation with them and letting them know, hey, listen, you know, we'd still like to help you out with your campaign, but maybe we refine it. And we've done that for some clients. There are a select few, and I mean a select few, that we still do the daily postings for, but for the most part, we've shifted that focus now. And but with that,
well, it just shows you how big social media really is. There's not just one daily posting. Are you doing reels for them? Are you going to get into videos for them? Are you going to do ads for that? There's so many different facets and so many different channels for social media. You kind of have to, even if you're just going to continue to do it, you have to narrow down, or you need a team. Because for one person to try to do 6 platforms for 10 clients with all these different moving pieces and parts and different types of posts and carousels and reels and videos, like it's just not, it's not going to come out the way you intend it if you're trying to do that much.
No, so that's why we focus more on the video, obviously the video aspects. You know, as you can see, we're we're filming here.
Oh my God, are we on video?
Yeah, we are. Surprise! No, I'm kidding.
Oh man.
But you know, that's why, you know, for like video marketing, you know, we've done, now we're focusing more on that. And now we still, but we do post to social media, but now it's more of a calculated execution, so to speak, a calculated marketing execution. And now also getting into ads and boosted campaigns. See, I enjoy that stuff because I can get right into it, look at exactly what needs to be done. And as you know, getting into the ad realm, I mean, especially on while we use Facebook and Instagram, now we're able to look at not only our demographic, but we're also able to look at what they're even interested in and target and zone in on that. And to me, that fascinates me. And it's like, yes, I want to do more of that. And once it's done, then the campaign, all I have to look at, like you, and what you didn't enjoy doing, I enjoy doing, is looking at the numbers, looking at the stats. Okay, here's what worked, here's what didn't work. How can we refine this, or do we want to do something like this again? But once that campaign's done, it's done.
Right. Yeah. You keep your numbers, I'll keep my creative, which is why the web design is a better focus too. There's not a secret back end of analytics somewhere. Now, does SEO go hand in hand? Yes, but nowhere on my offerings does it say I do SEO, because I do not. I hand that right on over. I'm like,
Hi.
WA Hooper, marketing. Is this you? Do you have a phone number this day and age? No.
Yeah.
I have an SEO referral for you. Yeah, that's more design centered. And the funny thing is, you included and other former web designers, let's say, that have gone the SEO route, they really like that stuff more. They like the research end of it. They don't like, they're like, I don't want to make things look good. It's too much work. I don't like doing it. And I'm like, oh, that's the part I love.
Right.
Making
and see
something good and functional. Yeah.
Right. And I think where the creative side, I think for us, for W. Hooper Marketing, so that's where the photo and the video comes.
The video.
In.
Yeah.
You know, that's a different kind of creative. It's like, it's now we're capturing live, you know, real content, like real authentic content.
Real, not reels.
Yeah, not reels. But going right into web design, we are on the cusp of something really, really fascinating. I've mentioned this in previous shows, previous conversations. Yes, dun, 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 Web 3.0, the metaverse, virtual reality, augmented reality. Folks, whether you like it or not, it is here, and it's only going to become bigger. CP, first off, have you heard of this metaverse Web 3.0? And if you have, what do you know about it?
Yeah, I think everybody's heard of it by now. I'm not sure my full feelings on it yet because I've never been much for virtual reality.
Well, that's why we're here
about
today.
It for years, right?
I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. What are your reservations? Because you're not the only one. There's a lot of reservations. So let's hear it.
Well, there's lots on both sides. There's people that are, they're so gung ho. They're like, we're ready now, and we're like, but it's not actually officially ready. Like, you can't jump into that universe just yet, though it's becoming a reality very quickly. But we've been hearing about it for years, right? So people were, yeah, sure, it's coming. Yeah, sure, it's coming. Now we're at the point where like, oh, it's actually coming. They were serious. Oh, okay. But I've never been much for the virtual reality stuff, and that's not because it's good or bad. It's just not ever been my thing. I was never a big video gamer. I feel like people who love that really love the idea of the metaverse, right? Of going into this alternate reality, of exchanging goods in the metaverse, of doing all this stuff and meeting people. I mean, I guess I meet a lot of people online now, so it ain't so different, but it's real people. It ain't your avatar. It ain't, there's still real faces there. So. But that's me. I've always been a very visual learner. I obviously, with my job, I'm very visual. So I guess to me, I don't know what the best way to describe it is. I mean, I know there's visuals there, but they're not real. They're all made up. So maybe that's where my disconnect is. I don't know.
So what's interesting is that right now, and we also have to recognize and realize that it is still it's in its very beginning stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So 10 years down the road, this could look very different.
Right.
My thought on it is that especially for e-commerce, it is going to be something that is going to be, it's going to take it to the next level. So you could be in a virtual reality where you have clients that have set up e-commerce within the metaverse itself, where they could go into physical virtual establishments,
right,
that is not only commercial real estate, and there's that marriage between the metaverse and e-commerce and real estate. There's so much here that can be that can be brought into fruition here, and it gives the audience, it gives your clients, it gives them a whole new experience in shopping and web and for web design. I mean, that's going to be, I feel like you're going to have a lot of a lot of neat learning tools and education coming up here in the next, even within the next 5 years.
Oh yeah, and it's for sure going to give businesses new and unique opportunities. There's no doubt about that. E-commerce, but even, I mean, for businesses that offer different types of online courses and things. I mean, there's options for them to really utilize some NFTs in the metaverse. And I mean, in a whole new, something they haven't done before. So it's not just e-commerce either. There will be lots of opportunities for sure. But I think because it is so new at this point and people haven't seen it yet, right? There's still a lot of questions. There's still a lot of uncertainty. Like you said, it's coming, like it or not. You can be on whichever side you want. It's not going to stop it. Just like everybody who's been against anything technological from the beginning, it's coming. It's, you know,
so
you don't have to be on board, but
you mentioned NFTs, and that's very interesting, because here is something I found. And here, let's move this guy out of the way. Oh, look.
Are we subscribing to some stuff today?
So how e-commerce will be affected by Web 3.0 and the blockchain. This is from an article called Web O Creation. And this was released in February of this calendar year. So kind of gives just a brief overview, but it says Web 3, also known as Web 3.0, is the evolution of communication, crypto for cryptocurrency, DeFi for finance, NFTs for art, and metaverse for internet. Web 3.0 is projected to have a massive influence on businesses and customers, as well as how businesses market and sell their products and run their operations, and probably how customers buy products and preserve their data and identity. Goes on to explain a little bit more kind of what e-commerce is. But what I find interesting here is we see this little graph, and it shows the evolution of the web. You have Web 1.0, generated by an administrator. So Web 1.0 is kind of like your primitive, it was the first iteration. Web 2.0 is what we're living in right now, content created by the user. So you have things like social media. You know, it's a platform of for the people, by the people, essentially. Well, that's what it used to be. And now we're looking at Web 3.0, content generated by community. And I think that community is that metaverse. It's that virtual / augmented reality. Now we do have, and as you can see, here's a picture of someone using their virtual goggles. But what's interesting is that even down here, I'll just read the first little blurb here, but it says the flow of e-commerce in Web 3.0. You got this cool picture graphic here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. So let's say you want to buy a sound system for your living room. You wear AR/VR, that's goggles or whatever, and you go to the metaverse where you can create your own room model with NFT, or use a room scanner, which will create your unique room. Then you will search for the sound system that you can add in your room. Get one to test in your room. Test it by adjusting the volume. If you don't like it, test another. Once you liked it, you pay with your crypto. And crypto, again, is a form of currency. That's another topic we'll get into later. And your sound system will be delivered to home through the drone. So already, this is a whole new immersive experience. And I just got to say, it's fascinating, but I know a lot of people, like you said, there is some hesitation, but just like with anything, it's that whole adapter or get left behind, right?
Well, it's new. We all know it takes people time for change, any kind of change, any big or small. And if it's so new that you know nothing about it, if it's an adaptation on something you're very familiar with and it's not a big leap, it's easier for people to get on board. When there's a lot more to learn and it's much newer, which even this, I mean, there's some people it's not as new to, and they're pumped, they're excited, they can't wait. And for the people who it's much newer to, they're like, I'm gonna just hang out back here for a while and watch this unfold. They ain't in any hurry, and that's okay. It can be a slow, you decide when you're ready to hop on, but there's gonna be a point where you're gonna have to be like, get it now, or you're gonna be late to the game, which is not now, of course, but talking down the road, right?
Right. And I would even say, because there's the, I'm sure you've heard of them. They're the Oculus Quest goggles, virtual reality goggles. That's right now what is kind of made the big footprint in the metaverse. And it was created for obviously the Facebook / Instagram, the Zuckerberg verse, or some people call it the Zuckerverse. But, down the road, I believe it's sometime later this year, it has been reported, and we can pull up some stats on that if need be, but you can also Google it too. It's all over.
Yeah.
Apple has been in talks of that in developing their own metaverse. And here's my theory, and go with me on this. I think, and my theory is that once Apple releases their metaverse, their virtual reality, I won't even call it metaverse. We'll just call it, we'll call it Appleverse.
Appleverse. There you go.
I think once that drops, it will make an imprint and be a game changer, much like the iPhone, the first iPhone was back in the mid 2000s. Because at that point, if there's one thing, and maybe, I don't know, who knows, maybe I want a sponsor from Apple.
Subtle. Real
if
subtle.
there's one thing that I have that through my own experiences with the Apple product line, their products, they just work and they take the time. And I was talking with another IT person about this. They take their time in their development of their programs and their software, and it shows. And I think that's what's going to happen with this metaverse, with this Appleverse. I think once that happens, people will finally go, okay, all right, because you're going to have this even more crisp and sharp, concise way of navigating it.
Could be. Could be. Time will tell, my friend.
Could be.
We will know soon enough, won't we?
So, knowing all of this, CP, what for Crystal's Cubicle, what would be your first plan of action to become either educated or immerse yourself and learn about the metaverse, or I should say e-commerce for Web3 or Web 3.0? What would be your first plan of action to dive into this?
Well, there's plenty of information out there. Plenty. If there's something you want to know, if you want to learn how to create your own NFTs, if you want to do anything, it's out there. You just have to be willing to take time to figure it out if you don't already know how, right? I think when it comes to the actual time, what it will be is the same as it is for anything. Even with e-commerce now, let's say smaller e-commerce, right? Sometimes people are not sure they need a whole website. Well, I can just sell on Facebook, or I can just do this or that. I can sell through Instagram. So it's still showing them the benefits, right? And that's what it's going to come down to with this too, is showing how it can benefit them, what the perks are going to be. Why is this better? Why is this a good way to go? And the information for me, like I said, is going to be out there, just like anything else I've never known how to do. If we had this conversation 10 years ago, I'd be probably just sitting here looking at you like this going, because I did not know how to do anything with websites or social media or anything else 10 years ago. I think I was posting for my own other small business here and there, mostly memes. Like there was no rhyme or reason. There was no strategy behind it. But everything can be learned, right? I hired coaches, I took courses, I did the work, and it won't be any different, except now there's a basis. So it's just a new facet of something that's already happening.
Correct. And do you see your current client base, and I don't know if, and because there's no such thing as perfection, but do you see the majority of them wanting to get on board and kind of jump off the diving board into the virtual reality Web 3.0 e-commerce realm, or do you see them kind of hesitating and going, I don't know, I need to find out more about this?
Well, I think just like anybody else would tell you, you're going to have a little bit of both. There's going to be people who are like, yes, let's do this. Tell me what to do. Just point me in the direction. I am signing up for this. And you're going to have your other people, and it's going to be split for everyone. No one's going to have a whole set of clients that are ready to just jump. And probably no one's going to have a whole set of clients that are all going to be standoffish. You're going to get a little bit of both within your clientele for sure. So you take the ones that are ready to go first, and the rest will come on board when it's their time.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to see what the Crystal's Cubicle Web 3.0 site will look like.
Well, I can tell you this, it'll still be affordable for small businesses. That's one thing that's really important, though. I mean, it sounds silly, but there are so many web design places out there that take people for all their worth just because it's web design and it's something they don't understand, and they can throw around these technical terms to make them think that it's so much harder than it is.
Right.
And maybe it is if you don't know anything.
Yeah.
But that's still no reason. And I'm not talking people who have 500 items that they're selling on a large e-commerce site. I'm talking about small businesses, even small stores that are selling 100 items. Like, there is no reason that these people, and you hear the stories still again and again of things not working on their site. They spent $15,000 and a illegal image was used. Like, people just want the money. They don't do the work. And these poor small business owners who don't know better are now at the point where they're like, ooh, web design. Like, it's almost become like, they're like, oh, web design. I don't know. That's like expensive and I don't want to do it. I'm going, no,
it's almost become like a dirty word.
Right. Not everyone out there is going to rip you off. I swear, I promise.
Right.
But it's been a bad experience for a lot of people. And once you have that bad experience, you're very hesitant to do it again. Right.
No.
So I'm sure with this, people are like, oh, great. This whole stupid metaverse thing, it's going to cost a fortune. Websites already cost enough. And so when I say that, it's something important. That should be, there's no reason that will not be able to be something that they can afford and get into as a small business. They don't have to be a giant tech loving type of company to do something like this, or for it to be beneficial to them. That's
right, because it should be easy, right?
Well, maybe easy is not the right word, but it shouldn't be so complex. There shouldn't be fire hoops to jump through. I mean, jeez.
Well, yeah. That's why there's individuals like yourself.
Right. It's web design. It's not the freaking circus.
That's right.
Although I've watched some things that make me think it's a circus, and I see why people are turned off sometimes. But yeah, it's definitely,
because it's individuals like yourself that make it seem easy and seamless, because you take the time, you understand the ins and outs of it, you do your research, and again, you don't take people for something.
Well, easy and seamless for the client, right?
Right.
I mean, because they don't need to be bogged down with technical jargon. They don't need to be told no, that their idea, like, what is design is, it is what it is. Yes, there are some things you should definitely stick to. There are trends that are maybe important that will affect you in a certain way. There are certain aspects that you want in there. But then also, like, where do you get off just telling someone no when they come to you with a bunch of ideas for it? No, absolutely not. Like, just speak to them, explain what's good, what's not. Like, usually there is a way you can get there, what they want in there, without sacrificing for the greater good. Okay, you want this? Well, you know what? How about we kind of tweak this a little instead and do this? But people just kind of, they get shut down, they get told no, and then they'll find things. Oh, well, that's your problem. You're going to have to pay if you want that fixed, and you're going to have to pay for this, and you're going to have to pay for that. And on the bright side, it makes for really good content for my social media feeds when they do stupid stuff like that. So, you all keep going. No, I'll just keep using that. Oh man.
Oh, this is why. This is why.
Good. No one screwed up that bad in a while. I need somebody to hurry up and do something stupid again so I can use it. Like, that made for some great content.
Oh yeah.
For some of the most popular posts.
Right.
Yeah. You do you, and I'll just be over here waiting.
I'll just be over here waiting and typing up my caption
right
to expose you.
Right. Yeah, you do you. I'll be right on over here. I'll be over here in my cubicle doing things the honest way, wait for you to give me something really good to use.
I know. There's quite a bit out there. I mean, there is some great.
It's sad.
There is some great rut-row, footage and content.
Yeah.
So,
oh man.
Keep it coming, folks. Give CP some more content to put out there.
That's right. Bring it on.
I mean, we're not shaming. Let's put it that way. We're not shaming for the younger generation. This is not shaming. This is just pointing out what not to do.
It is. And if you feel shame, maybe take a quick look at your practices, because you shouldn't feel that way. You shouldn't feel that way. You really shouldn't.
That's right. So before we sign off here, have you created some goals and objectives for 2022 for Crystal's Cubicle? I know we talked about you've narrowed down your specialties and what you are offering, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I think that's necessary and needed to grow as a business owner. So are there some other goals and objectives that you, CP, would like to accomplish for this calendar year for Crystal's Cubicle?
I mean, first and foremost is just really to continue to get the word out there to small business owners that like they can have something nice. Especially now more than ever, your website is the first thing people see when it's your online storefront, for lack of a better term. If people could drive to your location and they drove up and like things were falling apart and glass was broken, there's a good chance they'd be like, you know what, maybe we'll go to the next one down the road. It's the same thing with your website. Fair or not, they judge your business, your credibility, whether or not you're professional based on that. And I don't think people should feel like they can't have that because they're afraid it will cost them $10,000 to get just a simple site. And it's not true. So one of my biggest goals is to really drive that message home and to provide some tips, because not everybody's in a position to pay for a website yet. And there's no reason they shouldn't be able to have some decent information to put something together themselves, at least in the meantime, to allow them to save up to get a good professional website when they are ready to level up and are really ready to start promoting that and driving people to that page.
How can people reach out to Crystal's Cubicle if they want to get their web design, their web maintenance all set up? And you're still doing the chatbots too, correct? So you can set those up for clients?
Yep. I just kind of took a step back because, again, having the focus in one place instead of all over the place is a lot easier. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier promotion wise too, right? Oops, let's get rid of that. So, I mean, I can be found obviously crystalscubicle.com. LinkedIn, it's just my name. It's just Crystal Pekarek. There is no business page on LinkedIn, nor will there be. I'm not doing that. Facebook is Crystal's Cubicle, and Instagram is Tech Mom to the Rescue.
I love your Instagram username. It's
gotta be fun.
It's one of the best I've heard in a while.
Gotta be fun.
Well, CP, thank you so much. This, as always, it's a pleasure. I basically have made you like pretty much a co-host at this point. You've been on this program so many times, and every time our conversations have never lagged. They've always just seemed to flow very, very naturally and seamless. And that's what it's all about, right? So
do the hokey pokey, turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Yep.
Yes.
Indeed.
I love it. So thank you everybody for listening and tuning into the Marketing Minds Meet. And if you are listening on Spotify, Apple, Google, all audio podcast formats, please don't forget to follow and subscribe. And if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. We appreciate you. And please subscribe to our channel so you can see future episodes of Marketing Minds Meet and various WA Hooper marketing content. And hey, you can watch previous episodes as well. And you know what, listen to it, watch it on your browser, at home, at work. Well, careful how you do it at work. maybe just have it in a separate tab, and you can, on occasion, just switch between the video and what you're doing. We don't want to get you fired. That's not what we want. So, thank you so much, and we will see you next time.